Okay, now for this ICT integration course, the way that you're going to be assessed is there's 6 marks, which is for the benchmarking task. Your contribution to the discussion boards is a mark out of 20, and how well you mark or get rated will be marked out of 74. Now there is 37 standards, and basically you'll get there's up to 5 stars you can get for each one. So basically I'm going to count them up and just double the answer to work out what marks you get. Now that sounds complicated. What I suggest though is download this ICT Elaborations for LAMS. Now I've already done that, and I get this. Now last year what the students had to do was they had to go to standard 1.1, look at this answer and put in what they thought. Now I've brought up here an example of what a student's done before. In this case it's the same as what's in our LAMS sequence, and what we'll be looking for is there are 3 things. You're looking for, number 1, has the student identify the actual LAMS statement. So here we're looking at the physical, social, intellectual development characteristics of students. Basically, understand the students, how they work. So here we're talking about, in today's society, a large proportion of students' learning takes place outside school, and they're using social media, they're using Facebook, and so on. So yes, number 1, I've identified the ATSL standard. The next thing is, can you suggest an ICT tool that would help you to integrate with this standard? So in this case we're dealing with students' social and intellectual development needs, and we've gone on to talk about social media and learning platforms. So this person has brought up learning platforms as a tool. This person has so not just then as a generalization, but gone on to explain about Edmodo itself, and she also talks about Moodle later on. And so we're giving a specific example. Additionally, it allows teachers to incorporate ICT as standard interests and subjects, provide students information out of school hours and communication. So given a specific ICT tool with reasoning for it. Now the next part is your pedagogical reasoning for using the tool and how it relates to the subject. So here this teacher has gone on to talk about history class and using Confucius classics. Uploading resources, so they've given an example of the course and how they could use this ICT tool to integrate in the class and enhance the students' learning. But they've gone on to also talk about how they submit their assignments and really given a lot of information. So this person has met the ATSL, looked at ATSL, looked at the tool, looked at integration. So they get 3 stars, but it's specific tool, so +1, and specific pedagogical reasoning, so +2. So in this case, I'd suggest this person probably is looking at about a 5. Now what you're going to be doing is, this is just for standard 1.1. Now in standard 1 there are actually 6 substandards, so 1.1, 1.2 and so on. And in the first LAMS sequence, I've given you a copy of some student work, and you need to decide whether or not it's a 5-star, 4-star, 3-star, 2-star, 1-star, or not worth anything. And I understand that's going to be slightly difficult to start off with. However, once you've done that, your marks, and it's worked out, the LAMS sequence has looked at your result, it will then give you some feedback and explain exactly what that person should have got based on the marking strategy we're using. Now I'm not going to go into any more detail with that one. And what you'll find is you're going to be working on, for example, when you do standard 1, which is know the students and how they learn, you'll be put into a group of students or student teachers. You'll then have to write down your own ideas for in here in LAMS. Once you've finished doing all 1.1 and 1.2 and 1.3, you can then go back and look at what the other students have done and give them their rating. And equally, they'll give you their rating. Now, the reason why I'm suggesting you keep this document handy is, as you do standard 1.1, can I suggest please copy it into here. So that means at any time you want, you can print this off, you can keep it handwritten, however you want to do it, but at any time you have a copy of standard 1.1, 1.2, so you've got your notes in this document. If something bad happens and we lose all our data out of LAMS, you will have a copy of each of these boxes filled in. I don't anticipate that happening, but I'm just always worried about contingencies. Secondly, and more importantly for you, if you've got your answers written down in here, then whenever you want to refer back to them, you don't have to go onto the computer and log in and go to MyUni and go to LAMS and then find the spot where this is hidden. Instead, this will be all in one document. When you go to do your e-portfolio, you can then elaborate on these information. Alright. And that should cover the ICT elaborations. So hopefully this makes a bit more sense. You have some kind of idea how you're going to do benchmarking, and you have some kind of idea of what the marking technique is going to be. I wish you luck. Get on with doing the first LAMS sequence. Once you finish that, you'll be able to work on the second one. Good luck.